the system is highly fragmented. You've got all these different players that have different allegiances, different contracts. They bid jobs and are pretty much selected on a low price a selection process called design, bid, build. So once you're selected, then your whole motivation is, how do I protect that low margin that I won the job in, and that mitigates any form of cooperation. The only cooperation you have is when everybody's awarded the job and you all come to the first construction meeting and everybody talks about how they want to work together and this is a team effort. And as soon as the first problem arises, it's finger pointing or protecting your interest. So we thought it would be beneficial for us and also beneficial for the industry if we began to just articulate what these common principles are, what ties all these different processes together, and then help people understand where they can go to find ways to improve the process. The group effort that came about became known as Mindshift. And some people call it consortium, some people call it a collaboration. It's really a group of 15 organizations that came together to talk about the current state and the future state of the industry. One of the things that I've discovered about change process is that to move the ball along, you need a combination of well-established firms and you need innovative firms in the mix. If you've only got well-established firms, they don't move as fast as the innovative firms. But if you only have innovative firms involved in the process, then you don't get the industry recognition and awareness. So it was very important that we had Gensler and Turner and Hayworth and KPMG. Those are all marquee names. Everybody knows about them. The federal government, the American Institute of Architects. Those have to be part of the process if the industry is going to move forward. And they are. The other side of the coin is that we had organizations like Lucchese Galati, very advanced in building information modeling and biomimicry and these other concepts. And we had another firm called Solidus in Connecticut. So we invited Mark Charette and his team to be part of the process. He was living and doing things that we were just beginning to explore and discover. He was delivering consistent results. He was providing brand promises and guarantees to clients where we were just beginning to talk about, well, how do you actually play well together in the sandbox? That was the basic part of our initial discussion. He'd been playing in the sandbox and playing well and doing well for his clients for over a decade. The commercial real estate revolution is set up to tell a story that our Mindshift Consortium walked through, and the first part of the story is, how does the current industry behave? How does it function? Why do we have challenge getting good results? Why is it so difficult to coordinate and to have reliable promises at the outcome? What you're really putting together, if it's a $1 million project or a $50 million project, you've got multiple numbers of firms involved. If it's a large project, you can have up to 250 sub-trades involved. You've got all this expertise, you've got contracts. You're creating a company on the fly to do something very complex that requires lots of coordination. And a building is really, or a project is highly relational. We tend not to think of it that way, but it really depends on how well people work together, as they say, how they play in the sandbox, how well they coordinate, communicate, how they handle conflict, how they handle change. That's all relationship stuff. So if you got a structure that basically weeds all that out, like the current structure does, then you don't get that relational component in the building. What Solidus provides is a full turnkey delivery model. It's not just the construction, but it's the total client experience. And Solidus takes the whole risk. They create the umbrella that integrates everybody in a very transparent methodology. But with that, they're able to guarantee outcomes. That's the big shift that IPD is going for. Instead of just guaranteeing that the drywall guy will finish his drywall on time, now the team is guaranteeing that we're going to guarantee the overall outcome. So it's becoming outcome based. So Solidus will guarantee the cost of the job. They'll guarantee the timeline, the move-in date. They'll promise no change orders, which is a huge part of the cost of a job. And they also provide a warranty on the work for over 2 years. So that's the kind of opportunity that's within IPD. But right now, for most firms, each firm is trying to understand it from their own particular perspective. Now, if you're looking for firms that are actually doing this on a local basis, feel free to give us a call or email us, and we'll tell you who we know is in your marketplace to begin that dialogue. We do not recommend starting with a fresh team who has never done it before and try to do it. We really recommend that people work with firms who have actually done this to get the learning curve and to experience what it's really like, because it's a very big change in behavior and thought process.